Awesome. We will go ahead and get started. Good morning. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to be spending some time today talking about Alibi Hybrid and more specifically, cloud backup for traditional systems. Those of you who knew Alibi Security, we've been around for a little over 33 years now, really focused on working with our dealer partners and partnering with them to grow their business. And Alibi Hybrid is one of our latest technologies that we brought on board about a year and a half ago that is really making that transition from on-premise video, your traditional video security recording, to cloud. So we're going to spend some time talking about that and talking about how you can take a on-prem system and back up recordings to the cloud. My name is Bill Rogers. I oversee the sales organization here at Alibi Security. Also on the call with us is Bryce Brendan. He's our senior cloud specialist. He oversees all of our cloud technology at Alibi. And Jessica Kinsler, who is our specialist dedicated to our hybrid technology. A little bit of the meeting logistics. If you have any questions, things like that, use the Q&A button. We've got a group of individuals that'll be responding to those questions. We'll try to answer some of those questions live, but we want to make sure that we, share this exciting technology with you. More importantly, we want to make sure we get any of your questions answered. So make sure that if you've got questions, you ask them. Anything unanswered, we'll follow up directly with you. Don't be afraid to ask those questions. All right. Well, with that, Bryce, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you kick us off today.
Awesome. Thanks, Bill. Hey, good morning, everyone. Want to start out real quick, as we always do, just thanking you all so much for your time. I know you all have very busy schedules, so really appreciate that you took a couple minutes out of your day to meet with us. I think we're going to give you hopefully some pretty good value in return. So really the goal of today is we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to tell you what Alibi Hybrid Cloud is, kind of the value that it's going to bring to your business. And then Jessica at the end is going to actually show you in a live environment what it's going to look like, both for you and your customer. So for those of you that haven't been introduced to hybrid already, really this is our answer to kind of the next big evolution of, the security industry, right? We first went through the big transition from old analog technology over to IP. And now we're really moving from IP to cloud. And what we ran into when we brought on our full cloud solution, Alibi Cloud VS, that some of you may be familiar with, is that full cloud is a great solution. It really is an answer to a large portion of the market. However, there is a arguably larger portion of the market that still likes their traditional systems, right? They like their NVRs and they don't want to change that, but they could benefit greatly from some benefits that the cloud can provide. And so if you are looking to get into the world of cloud, into the world of RMR and kind of selling a service to your customers, this is as low hanging a fruit as you're going to find in the market. And so from a technical standpoint, Hybrid Cloud is going to give you and your customers a couple of things on top of their normal NVR systems. Okay. So firstly, and most importantly, it's going to give you some cloud backup, again, on top of a normal NVR system. And we'll cover all these in more detail. It is also going to give you some powerful AI, some analytics that is going to basically tailor your notifications and make them very, very specific, very accurate. And then you're also going to get a little bit more visibility to the health of your system with some light health monitoring as well. So firstly, we're going to hit on cloud backup. So this is going to be probably the most important portion of hybrid cloud. So as you all know, there are a lot of different reasons that could cause a traditional NVR, DVR system to lose data, right? We all get those calls where a customer, they don't really use their camera system until they have an incident, right? And then they go back to look at that incident, pull that footage and get it where it needs to go. And, they may notice, well, our camera's been down for 2 weeks. We had absolutely no idea, right? And this can be caused by a variety of different reasons. So one of the most common ways that you lose data is hardware failure, right? Those hard drives, recorders, they have moving components. And with technology, anytime you have a moving component, it's a ticking time bomb, right? So whether it's just stops working, gets overloaded, maybe it's in an environment where, it gets choked because it doesn't have proper ventilation. Maybe there's a fire. And then unfortunately, this is becoming more and more common. We're getting more and more calls of this nature. Thieves are unfortunately getting a little bit smarter, and they understand that a good portion of security systems in the field right now, they record to an NVR on site. And if that NVR is stolen or destroyed, there's really no camera data. And then obviously the less flashy example, your camera just goes offline. You have no idea, right? So really when you're selling backup, you're really selling an insurance policy. It's, giving the customer really peace of mind that, in the worst of circumstances, if something were to happen to their hardware on location, they're going to have something, right? They're going to have it in the cloud, and it's operating completely independently from anything that's happening on location. So how does it work, right? It's actually very, very easy. It's extremely easy to integrate. A big problem with technology in this space right now is that a lot of the times, technologies of different kinds don't really talk to each other very efficiently, right? Well, thankfully, the setup for hybrid is pretty straightforward, probably about as straightforward as you're going to find. And so all we really have to do is point the recorder to the cloud. And from there, all the processing power happens in the cloud, right? So you can actually get fully integrated camera streams from your NVR sent to the cloud. You don't have to add any additional hardware whatsoever. So we're not adding a bridge device. We're not, we don't need a special type of recorder to make this happen. As long as you have an IP signal coming out of that recorder, we can work with it. And so what you're going to get archived in the cloud is you're actually going to get an unlimited number of clips for 180 days or around 6 months. So it is a pretty robust time frame. And so even if you are relatively confident that your system is not going to fail, you can still grow beyond the natural kind of limits of your hard drive, right? Because it would take a lot of hard drives to get up to 180 days on most systems. So this can be something that you tack on to a new install that you add on every quote if you'd like to. Hey, customer, congrats, your NVR is cloud capable. How many cameras do we want to back up, right? Or what's arguably even more exciting is you can go after what you've already sold. So if you've got a bunch of NVRs out there in the field, reach out to them, say, hey, congratulations, your NVR can send signals to the cloud. And you can sell it to what you've already got in the field. And obviously the golden goose for all this, right? RMR. This is, again, probably the lowest hanging fruit you're going to find in the market right now, because this is something that you can literally turn on with a couple of clicks of a button, clicks of a mouse, and you can offer your customer a pretty robust, pretty straightforward solution and actually benefit very greatly from that by capitalizing on some RMR. So the next component that you get with this is going to be analytics, and we'll cover this in a little bit more detail in a second as well. But the goal of the AI really is to, make it so that when you go back and you're looking through your video data, you aren't having to sift through a ridiculous amount of false positive detections. We've all gone through and trying to find, an incident based off of like general motion detections. Takes a really long time. Motion can be very general. It can be a lighting change in frame. It can be a tree blowing in the wind. So the goal of these analytics is to basically reduce that down close to nothing. 95% reduction in false positives, which is very, very impressive. And then also you will get a little bit of visibility as to, hey, is my recorder properly sending this video feed to the cloud? Is it doing what I want it to do, or is it not? And if it's not, you can be notified of that as well. So it really shouldn't ever be a surprise if your camera is not communicating to the cloud. So next big component, right? The analytics. One really common question we get asked is, hey, I know we're working with some pretty advanced analytics here. Do we need specific cameras? And thankfully, the answer is no. So all of this processing power happens in the cloud. So it's not hardware dependent whatsoever. The cameras and the NVR are sending very basic motion data to the cloud. And then the AI in the cloud is handling everything, right? So we can do pretty advanced detections without the need for any specific hardware whatsoever. Because again, it all happens in the cloud. Just to name a couple, we've got, these are actually roadmap detections here. Primarily right now, it's going to be people and vehicles. And then we do have some specialty analytics as well. Like some of you may have heard of our gun detection. So next slide, Bill. Awesome. And so I kind of hinted at this a little bit earlier, but one of the most exciting parts about hybrid is that you really don't need any specific hardware to make this work. Again, as long as you have an IP signal coming from an NVR. So you will get the most smooth experience on an Alibi Vigilant system. However, if you have a lot of other cameras out in the field, other NVRs out in the field, you have a pathway to tack this on to those systems. So it's pretty unique. Most cloud services are pretty proprietary. So you can go crazy and install this on anything and everything you have in the field right now. So really good opportunity to reach out to what you've already got installed. So now what I'm going to have Jessica do is she's going to run you through just kind of what it looks like to onboard cameras onto the platform and just show you how really easy and simple it is. And then she's actually going to show you a little bit of a test drive of the platform as well. So Jessica, I'll let you jump in.
Thanks, Bryce. Hey, good morning, everybody. So excited to be able to show you what Hybrid Cloud has to offer. So what I'm going to do is start showing you how easy this is to onboard your system. So in the past, there has been a lot of port forwarding involved, and it's always been a very pain point frustration of a lot of people. And so what we can do now is a process called P2P or peer-to-peer integration. And it's very, very easy to do and only requires you to have a few items in order to do so. So what you may ask is, well, what do I need to have in order to set this up? Well, first, you're going to need your customer's email address. And that's simply just to be able to create your customer's account. And then next is 3 pieces. It's going to be the Star for Live username, the Star for Live password, and then the device name for that recorder listed in Star for Live. Now, this is something that you should already be setting up for your customer when the install takes place, or if you go back to your existing install base, they should have that already. Now, a common question I get asked is, well, I have my customers' recorders listed under my business Star for Live. Does that make a difference? No, we can do that setup as well. We would just simply take the Star for Live information for your business account and then the device name that's listed for that recorder. So let me show you how easy this is. When you start, you're going to click on this add button next to the customer sites. You will do this for every single recorder that you choose to set up and back up to the cloud. You will leave it as a default Alibi P2P and hit continue. In this very first step, this is simply just plugging in information to set up that customer account, because for every customer that you set up on Hybrid Cloud, they will get their own login information with their own account to be able to view all of their cameras. So you will input an email address for your customer. Next, you will input a company name. If it's for a business, you'll obviously put in the business name. If it's for anybody other than a business, just go ahead and put in their name or something that they would reference to, but it really does not matter. You just have to input something. You will then input the primary name for the customer, and then you will select whether they want to do monthly or annual billing. We have both options on how to pay. So you'll just select the one that best fits for that customer. Next, you will input in a sales order number. Now, there are times when you don't always have the sales order number already because you're setting up that quote attached to it. So go ahead and just put in either your quote number, your invoice number, or if you do have it, the sales order number. It just is a requirement to have. So just go ahead and put in something. And then lastly, you're going to enter in a job name. You can put in whatever you would like, something for your own reference, and then hit next step from there. Now, this is where the actual onboarding takes place. You will give the site a name. This will be what is going to show up for your customer as well as under your dealer portal account. So I'm just going to go ahead and label mine as, for this purpose, Jessica Home. Then on the next steps, you will enter in the username for Star for Live, the password, and the device name. Now, these are very case sensitive, so you want to make sure that everything is inputted exactly how it is listed, including if there are special characters or if there are capitalized letters. Because if you don't have it inputted exactly how it was originally set up, it's going to give you an error message. But as long as all three of these are inputted correctly, this is going to take you about 2 minutes. The best and easy part about it is you just need to get that information ahead of time, and this is about a 2-minute process. You will then just select which time zone you're going to be in and hit submit. And once that submit button has been pushed, as long as that info is correct, it's going to take you to a camera list page where you can then start selecting cameras to back up to the cloud. Now, one of the great things that I love about Hybrid Cloud is that it's all done on a per camera basis. So your customer can choose the number of cameras that they want to back up to the cloud. Doesn't have to be every single one of them. So this will give you the ability to click on which cameras they want, hit submit, and then you're all set and ready to go. Once that connection has been made, it's immediately going to start pulling that video footage from that recorder and available up into the cloud. So this onboarding process is very, very easy to do. This is something you guys can do on your own. That's why we give you your own dealer portal account. So that way you don't have to wait on us in order to do so. But from here, what I would love to do now is just go ahead and show you what the Hybrid Cloud video footage has to look like. Because you certainly want to see, well, what is my customer even getting when they have the Hybrid Cloud? So in order to start with, when you start on the homepage, in order to view video footage, you're always going to start with the site hierarchy. The site hierarchy is where all of your customer accounts will be listed, and then that's where they will go in order to view video footage. So we're going to go ahead and dive on in. We have a long list of people that are already on here, so I'm just going to condense this down so you can see it a little bit better. But from here, this is what we call a customer site. So when you set up a customer account, it creates what's called a site, and it'll have the primary customer name up top, and every single recorder that they have backing up to the cloud will be listed underneath. Another great piece to this is that we can do multiple recorders in the same building, or if you have multiple sites and they want to have this all in one location, they can do that as well. You can see here that we have a lot of our account managers already on here, and we're all in different locations. But in order to view video footage, you will click on View Events next to the recorder the customer wants to see. Once that is done, you will then be able to see what video is actually being stored to the cloud. Now, it looks like there is a garbage truck that is passing by on the roadway right here, and that is what is being stored. So this is about a 12-second long video. I've seen videos as short as 3 seconds all the way up to about 2 minutes. It just kind of varies depending upon that amount of activity. But you'll notice that when the garbage truck drives by on the streetway, you'll see that there is a pink box around the vehicle. That's the actual analytic detecting that a vehicle has been identified. When Bryce mentioned to you earlier what kind of detections this is looking for those analytics, vehicle, people, bicycle, this is what's actually being recorded and stored. Now, there is another feature that I love about this Hybrid Cloud, and it's the ability for screenshots. So it breaks the video down into frame by frame, providing an extra layer of detail. So if you click on this alert link right over here, and we'll just start scrolling down to the bottom, you'll see that the garbage truck is pulling into camera view right here. And as we start scrolling, it's just going to provide a new frame of that vehicle passing by, and it's just an extra layer of detail. Now, heaven forbid that the police have to get involved. These are downloadable, and so is this video as well. But it's a very easy process. This is exactly what your customer is going to be getting and provides a lot of value for your customer. I'm going to turn it back over to you, Bill.
Fantastic. So that pretty much covers hybrid in a nutshell, and it is literally that simple. And the big thing that Bryce and Jessica spoke about in being able to not only every new install that you have, as part of the entire selling process, walking through when you're consulting with your clients, finding out which of those 2 or 3 cameras do they want to back up to the cloud at that time. The ability to, through P2P, to get those cameras online right away is seamless. And then to Bryce's point, take a look at your entire install base and the ability to go back at your entire install base that you have and offer online cloud backup as an upgrade. And and the slide that I have up here, it talks about our marketing tools, and through our marketing tools and our email campaign tool that enables you to go out and market to your existing clientele, you can go out and market to everybody that you sold to for the past 3 years and talk about online backup as an upgrade option. So we strongly encourage you, if you're interested in learning more about hybrid, having Jessica or Bryce or one of our inside sales specialists walk you through the technology. Reach out to your inside sales account manager, let them know. If you're looking at ways to grow your business presence in the market by things like slicks, templated websites, email campaigns, driving your Google My Business, reach out to your inside sales account manager. They'll team you with someone on our marketing team to talk about our business enablement services as well. Other than that, it doesn't look like we've got any questions, which means Bryce and Jessica did a phenomenal job of covering the technology. And thank you for the partnership. Thank you for taking the opportunity to spend some time with you today. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot. Take care.